talk to Bowie?
Nah, it was some of his representatives on the phone.
Okay.
I've been trying to talk to him for the longest. I never could, right? But anyway, so I'm talking to his representatives on the phone, and through the clear conversation, I can hear the Christian.
Right.
I can't remember exactly what we talked about, but meaning this, right? You got some Israelites. They say they're Israelites, but they still teach the same philosophy that Christians teach. Man got to have one woman. The Bible is for all nations.
Yeah, I was sitting in the room when he said that.
Yeah, the Bible is for all nations, no matter what race you are. Right? Jesus Christ died for everybody.
Okay.
So I can't remember specific.
I conflict with some of that, especially that one. Man supposed to have one woman. Now I tell him, Abraham, most of them in the Bible had the people that God favored had more than one woman.
That's it.
So yeah.
There's no law against a man having more than one wife. You don't have to have no wife.
I think the only rule, from my reading,
Go ahead.
you got to marry her. You just can't be sleeping with her.
Well, according to the Bible, sex is marriage.
Okay.
The minute you have intercourse with a woman, that's your woman.
Yeah.
You get my point?
Okay.
So a lot of Israelites still teach the paper and the ring. That's Christianity.
Like I have no ring because the Lord. I don't want to. It ain't even. I say them vows in front of the Lord. I don't like the government involvement in it.
Here's the key to it all. The Lord don't care about no medal and no ring. The Lord care about who you share your body with.
Right.
Now, if we teach our daughters that the first man that ever had intercourse with them is their man for the rest of their life, how much confusion does that stop? How many women do we stop from being whores if we teach that sex is marriage? So now when you teach brothers that they know if they touch this woman, she is his responsibility for the rest of his life. Ain't no throwing her away because of no paper in the ring. The Lord don't care nothing about that. And you get my point? So when me conversating upon them brothers, I offered the brothers to have a debate, and they turned it down. You get my point? With debating is a part of what the prophets of the Lord have always been about.
Okay.
Scriptures say Paul disputed with the Jews daily because why? He coming up against the different gods that they believe in. Because according to the Bible, there's only one God. But when you get to teaching several different doctrines, what people don't understand, that's a representation of a different God. You get my point?
Right.
So yeah.
Okay, it may be one, I call him the Most High.
That's right.
Because there's people underneath him that's higher than us. So it ain't no, it's one God. Okay.
That's a fact.
But it's angels and people like Enoch, if you believe in Enoch, that ascended and they're higher than us right now.
Right.
So back to my question though.
But it don't mean that he didn't die. Like when you read the book of Enoch that they got out now, right? That's a man's interpretation of Enoch. That ain't the actual book of Enoch. They got the book of Enoch. They got the book of what's the other book
Eli.
they got out there? Eli, not Eli. It's not the book of the dead from the Bible. The book of Enoch and another
Josephus.
book out there.
Josephus.
Not even Joseph, but it's another book that supposed to come out of the Bible. All those are, when you go to the author of the book, this be some man's opinion about the book, but it's not the actual book of Enoch.
The book of Jasher.
The book of Jasher. You get my point? And so, yeah, man, like I said, you come sit down.
Okay, I want to go back to my original question.
Please.
What's the difference between the Israelites and the Christians? What's the difference? Because like you can know the difference between a Muslim and a Christian. If Muslim believe it's only one God, there's no Jesus. But what's the difference between
I'll give you a basic
Israelites and the
I'll
Christians?
give you a basic one. How we just talked about sex. Christians teach that marriage is a ring and a piece of paper. That's not what the Bible teaches. Christians teach that God is for all races of people. That ain't what the Bible teaches. Christians celebrate Christmas. That ain't in the Bible. Christians celebrate Thanksgiving. That ain't in the Bible. Christians celebrate Easter.
Then they try to say that's his birthday and everything.
That's how birthdays is a sin. Birthdays is a sin.
To celebrate the birthday.
And when you're dealing with the religion of Christianity, you are dealing with the religion of our oppressor. ancestors was forced to take that. So why would we follow something that
At some point in the Bible and Ethiopian Bible, it started out Jewish, Hebrew, then it go straight Christian, like some flip. Like,
well,
you know,
the Bible doesn't teach Christianity at all. But what happened is the Christians are they masters of witchcraft. So they take a verse here, take a verse there, take a verse there, and misinterpret the verse. And because our people haven't been taught by the real prophets of the Lord, they're able to deceive you by misinterpretations. But that's why when it come to us, they don't stand a chance, because we can go and show you what the actual precept means.
Okay. So we just spoke on my biggest issue with the Hebrews that I hang out with.
Yeah.
They tell me I'm gonna burn the pit because I won't get married. You know,
Well,
I think you're supposed to have. You should be allowed to have more than one wife. They're like, one wife, you gonna burn the pit, bro. I'm like, okay, y'all lose me there.
Here's the problem with that, right? Jesus Christ compared the kingdom of heaven to 10 women going to marry one man. So if having more than one wife was a sin, Christ wouldn't compare the kingdom of heaven to 10 women going to marry one man.
What they saying is conflicting with what I'm reading, and I had to read the King James twice.
Yeah.
But it seems like it's mine. Seems like they're trying to get you to. Okay, how you feel about the fear of God? You should fear God.
Having the fear of the Lord is the most healthiest fear that you can have, because it's going to stop you from breaking His rules. Get my point? Like, I'm gonna ask you this: what is sin according to the Bible?
What is sin according to the Bible?
Based on what they taught.
Anything against what's written that they say God doesn't like adultery.
That's it. To be more specific, sin is the breaking of the law.
Right.
The breaking the law. You get my point? And so, unless you dealing with the whole teaching the people what the law is, then how they gonna know that they breaking the law? If you don't teach them what the law is.
And like in Leviticus, there's a whole bunch of, it ain't 10 laws. It's a whole list of laws.
No.
Do you Hebrews go off the same laws in Leviticus?
We go off the whole entire Bible. From Genesis to Revelation, we deal with the whole Bible in its
You're dealing
entirety.
with the King James version.
We deal with the King James version. The King James is the most accurate Bible that's out there because of the scholarship that he put into the Bible.
Okay. So you say you see Texas and you see the person that wrote it. Who wrote the King James Bible?
The prophets of the Lord wrote the Bible. Israelites is what the scribes. Right? Meaning, real quick. Say I'm a prophet, right? Daniel, this brother, my scribe, he wrote the Bible. So, but when you're dealing with the King James Bible, he had 24 scholars. He had them go translate the original Hebrew and the Greek into English. Because, hey, how you doing? Because during the time that he had the Bible translated, you had our people living in Europe but couldn't speak Hebrew, or couldn't speak Greek. So he had them translated so these people would be understand. Because imagine you reading the Bible in a language you can understand. They can tell you anything they want to tell you that's up in it. So he came up against the Roman Catholic Church and had the Bible translated properly. The scholars that he had at that time was the top scholars, and that's why the King James is the most accurate Bible and the most bought Bible that's out there right now.
Ready to front to back twice.
Yeah. Let me say this to you. Before I came into the truth, I read the Bible front to back twice, and when I came into school with 15 years ago, I found out I didn't know the Bible.
Right, that's why I had to read it. Yeah. I read it too fast the first time.
Because it's like trying to become a scientist, right? I can give you 2 science books, but it don't make you a science because you read the book. You got to actually sit in class and be taught by the scientists on how to become a scientist. You get my point? It's the same way with the Bible. The Bible teaches you that you have to be taught by the Bible. You just can't pick up nothing and read it. You're gonna be why? Because the Bible is full of symbolics and metaphors. You got to deal with context of the Bible. So you will read things and not understand it because you don't understand the context of the Bible. You get my point?
And that's why I go sit and listen to Bowie. But yeah, but you're right. Bowie is a more Christian church.
Absolutely.
They Israelites, and they claim that and everything, but you know, so I stopped going there because I was just too conflicted with that.
Yeah.
I just went back to my book and just read for myself.
That's it.
And then after I did that, I'm 70%, like I said, I'm 70% finished with the Ethiopian Bible. And that don't read nothing like, I tried to read the Quran. I can't read the Quran because it's shaming Hebrews the whole way through. Like, they on the top of a mountain talking about, look at them heathens, that's why they gotta walk through the jungle, the wilderness for 40 years. It seems like Arabs shaming the Hebrews. They on point with the accounts of what's going on, but they looking at it from a distance. They looking at us, but they looking at the chosen people, and they want to be that.
Right. Well, when you're dealing with Islam in itself, you're dealing with a religion.
And singles. They said we don't have to wear singles no more. How you feel about that?
You said singles? Shoes?
Singles. Fringes. That's what I meant.
Fringes.
I meant fringes.
Yeah, fringes is just a part of the culture. You know what I'm saying?
They're supposed to remind us of your
reminder of keeping the law. You understand? So that's something Scripture say to practice the righteous act.
I see y'all wearing it. So y'all don't believe what they believe.
That's very Christian, man. That's why I'm telling you, I got on the phone with them brothers for 30 minutes, and I could see that these brothers is Christians, and they not really for the truth. With some people, it sounds good to call yourself an Israelite, but it's a whole different thing to actually follow what's in the Bible. You get my point?
Right.
Yeah. You're gonna be looked at as a radical. You know, we here at this event, but we teach out on the streets.
That's why I had to stop coming around Israel God, because I don't see it that way sometimes.
Yeah.
I had to go back to my own book.
That's
so
it.
I'll check you guys out later.
Please.
All right, bro.